Welcome to the Banda Minute on this very special World Habitat Day, where we take a look at the statistics of home ownership in our city and our country in general, and understand the somber position that our citizens find themselves in. Walk with us as I show you why, unlike what the Daily has to say, home ownership is not a dream. Walk with us as I show you why, despite prevailing real estate ownership statistics, home ownership is not just a dream, but a waking reality here at Banda Homes. Karibu sana. On this World Habitat Day, a report that has been published on home ownership statistics in this country in the Daily Nation on page 12, of course being inferred from the cover, highlights the somber state of home ownership statistics in our country. The report, which gathers the wealth of its knowledge from information gathered from the Central Bank of Kenya, the World Bank, and the Kenya Integrated Household Budget Survey, shows the dire position that our citizens find themselves when challenged with the question of home ownership. The facts as highlighted in this report paint a dire and grim picture. And like the report says, many of our citizens, or the overwhelming majority of our citizens, have no place to call home. But what really are these statistics telling us? That home ownership continues to be the mainstay of the minority due to one thing and one thing only. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is due to the sheer cost of acquisition of a brand new home. Now, this challenge of finance is taken even further by the fact that the financial instruments available to our citizens make home ownership so expensive. Like the report says, and I quote, "So who qualifies to have a mortgage? To qualify for a loan, one needs to have an absolute level of income. This implies that a household should earn enough to cover the cost of the mortgage alongside the cost of its regular household expenses. It is recommended, therefore, that 2 in 5 shillings earned, that is 40% of a household's income, must be dedicated to servicing the loan. Also, the lender expects one to have a regular, verifiable income over the lifetime of the loan." So like the report says, number one, we must have an absolute level of income, meaning that we have a threshold of pay that never goes below a certain point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the 80s and 90s, when the mortgage product was quite popular, this was because the generation that came before us existed in a time when employment was mostly on a permanent and pensionable basis, meaning that financiers on one end could easily ascertain one's absolute level of income and therefore calculate how long it would take for them to make the payment. Ladies and gentlemen, however, this has since changed. With our market economy now calling for more contractual work and more on and off engagements, it means that one's true absolute level of income cannot so easily be ascertained, meaning that many of our citizens right now may not be able to provide statistical financial data that shows an absolute minimum of how much they earn on a monthly. Secondly, and also just as important, is the fact that, like the report calls upon, 40% of a household's entire income is to be dedicated to the payment of the loan. Now, when you look at the data, it seems like something that is doable. But ladies and gentlemen, when you put in the time constraint, you realize that not many of us can honestly be able to commit 40% of our incomes for the next 25 years. Now, currently, according to the report that has been published, there is a shortfall of over 2 million housing units in order to begin to change housing statistics in our country. So, ladies and gentlemen, the position that we find ourselves in is this. It is all doom and gloom, according to this report. Home ownership will remain the mainstay of the minority. And ladies and gentlemen, unless you are contractually obligated for over 25 years, you have no hope. Save, of course, if you can part with 134,000, let me get you the right figure, 132,414 per month for the next 25 years. What options and what choices do you truly have? Should you continue with the expensive rent model? Should you abandon home ownership into the realm of dreams altogether? Or so is there an option and a process through which and a model through where You can get your hands on a home without having to go through the desert of home ownership. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where Banda Homes comes in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have followed us over time have realized that home ownership statistics are something that we are very keen on. This is something that truly inspired the origin story for this company. Home ownership was always going to remain beyond reach if the prevailing conditions were let to remain. And that is where we set up to come out with this model that allows people home ownership within a finite time period. Since inception, over 1,500 great citizens of this nation, we continue to do our part, step by step, one home owner at a time. So ladies and gentlemen, despite the dire and somber mood that the World Habitat Day report on home ownership in this country may paint, I am here to inform you that on this World Habitat Day, home ownership need not be the stuff of dreams. You must not continue to conform to statistics that say no place to call home. Banda is here. Banda is ready. And ladies and gentlemen, together we can positively change home ownership in this country, one family at a time. So what are you waiting for? Visit us today and let us change the home ownership reality for you and your loved ones. Karibu Banda Homes. Karibu nyumbani. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a cheered up World Habitat Day Banda Minute, coming to you live from Banda Homes.